Hi.
Hi, are we live now?
This is whack. Let me just say, this fucking platform is like, what's the point of making a letting you know that we're going live if it doesn't let me actually use that when it's
Right.
live?
Well,
Stupid.
Luckily, hopefully, we won't have any more technical issues, but welcome everyone to the Magic Hour. And you're here live with us, your hosts, my colleague, Dr. Anna Stone, PhD, and all those other initials.
What are they? MS, MA, MSCPP? I don't know. Reverend. Yeah. There you go. All those dumb things. Yeah, all of those letters that really, at the end of the day, mean a lot of money.
And then myself, Reverend Priestess Stephanie Siren, and we're here tonight after a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And we're trying to fit in this season as we can, guys. So bear with us.
Changes. Oh, Happy New Year, by the way. It is New Year.
Happy New Year. And hi, guys. Hi, everyone in the chat. Welcome.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a new year. And so, yeah, we're not able to do this as often, at least this month, because I'm moving. So I'm excited about that. And then Stephanie's got stuff going on with her church priestessing.
Yes. Just a lot of movement, a lot of growth and good change in the community. Just, our pagan community here is building and I'm really thrilled about it. So
that's so great. I'm so happy for you about that.
Thank you.
Tonight we're going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart and to Stephanie's and to a lot of practitioners of magic, and that is Hekate, however you want to say her name. Nobody cares. She doesn't care. I'll tell you. But we want to talk about her and what she, symbolizes and what her functions are, and also, a little bit of her background and how she appears to show up in someone's life, like when they're called. So with her, there is a specific calling that occurs, which is interesting, that I don't see in others. Actually, I don't see this across the board with other deities. Maybe there's some, but like this specifically, very, very noticeable, I guess you'd say. Like it's much more in your face, I think. At least for me, it has been. What about for you, Stephanie? What do I mean when I say that?
Well, for me, honestly, I've had her appear not only to myself, but to my clients. Like they'll know somehow to come to me because of the signs and symbols that she leaves for them. And then they'll have visitations when they come to see me.
What's a visitation? What do you mean with visitation?
A visitation is when you are awake, you're not dreaming. You're sober. You're not on any kind of hallucinogen. Okay. And you actually see the deity, or you feel them and hear them and have like a feeling wash over you. That is a visitation.
Okay. So, why not a dream?
Why not dream? Because dreaming is a visitation, but it's not the specific visitation that I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. So there's some symbols that are associated with her that are pretty, everybody kind of knows them, which is the key, right? Keys. What else?
The labyrinth, and also the triple goddess.
Right. So the most famous one that everybody knows is the Mother, Maiden, and Crone, right? Like three goddess. And that would be coming from her. So, and her name again is many. She has many, many names.
Also, I want to add I want to add a symbol of the lantern is also hers.
Sure.
I have a
And the
tattoo of a
serpent.
lantern just because of her.
And the
Um,
serpent.
yes, the serpent, black dogs.
Yep. Black dogs.
Mhm.
If you know the story of Persephone, right, who is down with Hades, who kidnapped her, with the help of her father. Um, Hi, Abamai.
Hello.
Then you know that Demeter asked for Hekate for help to go retrieve Persephone from the underworld, and because she can straddle the two worlds, she can straddle both the spirit world and the material world. So she is considered to be liminal in her existence, right?
Right. So that would make her a goddess of necromancy.
And witchcraft, and also she's a patron to women and children, the underdog, anybody that's kind of on the outskirts of society, so to speak, because of like a black sheep, like you're a black sheep of your family, she's your go-to. um, yeah, and she has some interesting roots that are pretty convoluted and difficult to follow, but suffice it to say that recently in some archaeological digs in Turkey that predate the Roman Empire, um, and the Greeks, that they found a temple to her. So
Mhm.
older than even that. But
Right.
most people associate her with that period of time. So she's also considered to be a dark force, right? Like she's considered to be demonic sometimes. But some people say demonic. I mean, I'm not saying that. That's ridiculous to me. But like
I think that has to do I think that has to do with the shadow aspect of things because people don't understand why she's in the dark. But if we understand the story, like you were talking about, right? Demeter asking her to go guide Persephone back to the upper world, right? Because she's in the underworld. When she asks her to do that, Hecate goes with her dogs, her guardian dogs, and her lantern to come down to the darkness of the underworld where only she can go, right? And so she goes down there and guides Persephone up to be the goddess of spring so that she has that duality, right? And so that's why Hecate is the goddess of the liminal, right? She's the goddess of necromancy. She's the goddess of people who are mediums who can speak to those on the other side because she is that bridge. And also we are that bridge when we're mediums.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that's why. And so that darkness, though, that she's capable of being in is also symbolic of people who are healers, right? Who have had visitations from her, who she kind of shows them the way, like, hey, you were supposed to sit in the dark with people. You're supposed to guide them with your lantern back up to, their springtime, right? Get them through their winter.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's about taking on that burden, right? Like, yeah. Yeah, which is not fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the best. It's the more draining aspect of what we do, right?
It is, but it's God, is it rewarding? Because when there were times when I was at my bottom and I couldn't see the way, my sisters who do walk with Hecate were my lanterns in those moments. And so I do pay that forward in that regard because I feel like it's a call of take one, give one.
Oh, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I think that just if there's other people that are kind of, I noticed there's a lot of people newer to this work, because they just had their, I don't know, whatever event it was that triggered it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them, when they contact me, they're like, it's so much, and I'm just, putting it out there that, yeah, it is a lot, but it's not more than you can take. Otherwise you wouldn't be gifted it.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people that have visitations, when they feel afraid, don't be victimized by that fear. Use that fear to push yourself forward in your research.
Yeah, always research. And she's
learn.
yeah, and there's a thing with her that I think is interesting, that the people that I know that are followers, are devotees of her, are very into research and study. And I love that.
Mhm.
I really do.
Mhm. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm going to share that I personally did not start off wanting to be a devotee of hers at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was not about it. I was like, oh my God, every witch is into
Yeah.
Hekate. Why the heck would I be into that? I don't want magic. I don't need magic. I'm a psychic anyways, you know, just all these things, right? And
Yeah.
I was devoted to Lilith. I was super feminist, you know, just like angry, and like that's where I aligned, and like Kali, and like, you know, the breath of fire destroying everything in my wake. I was really about that. And she came in when I was at my bottom, like at the lowest of my low,
Yeah.
right? Like fully in the underground.
Right. Yeah.
That's
And
where
you
I
could find her power there, though. It's
right.
in that regard, she's similar to, I can never remember the name of this one, but the goddess of Never Not Broken, you know?
Oh, Inanna.
No, it's not. It's this one. It's not her. It's this other one that I can't. Her name's like 1,000 letters long, and it's
Okay.
and it's she's Hindi, and she's the goddess Never Not Broken, and she finds her power in her brokenness, like having to build back up again, and then being
Right.
around.
Isn't she represented by a vase?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about it, but I do know that I was reading about it recently, and I was like, oh, I like that. I like that, but I also don't like. I don't want to always be broken. I'm gonna like try to move away from that nowadays. I think I lived the majority of my life that way, so I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Right.
2025
issue.
being fixed. How's that? Like 9 Inch Nails, broken and then fixed. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you know, the other thing that I wanted to point out too is we have her everywhere and we don't even realize it.
True.
Did you guys know that she's our Statue of Liberty?
Right. Yeah. By the way, touche. It's like a little joke from the French, like, haha, you Puritan country, we're going to send
There's
over
a pagan. Well, actually, a Greek Titan, really.
Yeah. Right. And yeah, I love that so much, because I was Statue of Liberty, I think when I was 3 or something, and I look at that picture now, I'm like, see, it was always there.
It was always there, but that's that thing. She's holding that torch, right?
Yep.
She's holding the lantern, the torch for everyone to be guided, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's so beautiful to think about.
It is. And so she has 9, so, you know, traditionally she has 9 functions, right? And we don't have to go into them like in depth, but you know, I will say that there's, if you don't know, then she's the guardian of the crossroads, which is you know, she gives the guidance during times of what, transition or change in choice. Okay. She's the bringer of light to illuminate situations. So sometimes this shows up like you know, finding out your boyfriend's cheating on you. You know, like that sucks, but you'd be better off that you know. So some of these are not the reason I think she's associated with darkness too, is because of the things that come with it are oftentimes like they upheave your life, right? They like pull the blanket out from underneath you.
Yeah, but when you have to face your shadow like that, like sometimes when, you know, the things that you don't want to see, right, it's a shadow kind of thing to be in denial. Okay. And that requires some work of looking yourself in the mirror and saying, why am I doing this? Why am I stopping myself from my growth? And when she comes in to play, there's no more stopping yourself from growth.
No. Yeah.
It's just like, you know, like it's 0 hour. And now like she's pulling your pants down.
Thanks, Jessica. By the way, I appreciate that. Love you too. Yeah, she does. She'll pants you right in front of everybody. She's also she holds the keys to the universal mysteries and truths, right?
Yes, and that's part of that. That's part of that because like when you've got nowhere to go but up, she just kind of like makes you see the truth.
Right. She's also protects the vulnerable. That's, again, like I said earlier, she's the guide between the dead and the living. So for mediums, being able to facilitate that. She's also a healer, like you said earlier, seer and oracle, and then having boundaries. She's a queen of boundaries. This one is new to me. I did not know that. Hi, River Dragon.
Hey.
Okay. I didn't know. I actually was not aware of that one. So that was new information I got from this amazing piece of literature, or not literature, but work that Apamon got me for Christmas. And it's this one. We're not going to go into too much, but it's this book. And it's thick. It's not.
Yes, that is a book of dreams right there. Oh my goodness. Like if anybody's a Hekate devotee or you know anything about it, like there's certain books that are just like coveted, if you will. And that is one of them. And
I was in tears. It made me cry when I got it. I'm not gonna lie. It made me feel a certain way that I wasn't expecting, to be honest with you. I was at a loss for what to say. So the fact that somebody knows me that well to get that for me is great. So thank you, Emma, very much. And so we're talking about how she shows up, right, for you. Well, here's the other thing that I found out recently too, which is interesting, is as I was going through some of this, because it's a very methodical book. It's not one that you're just going to read all at once. It's like there's steps, right? But anyways, like I said, is the difference between her and other deities is that when she's called, she comes every time. So make sure it's worth her while. Don't be just calling on her for nothing. Like, don't be calling on her for your petty crap. Like, don't abuse it, right? You only want to call her when you know, because you got to remember, like, she has to come from a place.
Here's the beautiful part of it, though. You can't really abuse it, and I'll explain why. Because when you're messing with heavy energies like this, okay, you either succeed or you're screwed. There's no in between. There's no half-assing it. There's if you're invoking this goddess, this energy, you're either going to be rocked into a new life,
or your house will burn down, right?
and
sorry,
but it's true. Or maybe your house will fall on your sister. Who knows? But still,
both of those things were true. But no, seriously, that's true. And then also she will give like when you do call on her, she'll give signs that are very in your face. Never have I had that happen with others before. Like one time I was doing a ritual and I invoked her, and right after I did, I asked for 3 knocks, and then like maybe 30 seconds later, my little one runs out of the bed. She goes, "Mom, someone's knocking on my bedroom wall." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I heard 3 loud knocks." And I was like, Are you kidding me right now? I was like, holy crap. That was interesting. And she had, how my house is, she can hear me from, So that was interesting. But then also in dreams, but with proof. Like, so in dreams, she comes, and recently for me, and I asked in my dream, how do I know this is not just a dream? And she said something to me. She said, my name will appear on the lips of others about me to you, people that are unknown to you. And within 2 days, 2 different people had messaged me and said something about her to me. And I was like, are you? Wow. Like that was.
But see, that's how it works, right? Yeah. I mean, because, okay, for instance, guys, I've shared this before on this podcast, but for those of you who are new, I'll share it again. When I had my spiritual awakening in 2018, my first one anyway, because once you have one, you just kind of start having multiples. It's
never over.
Snowball effect.
Yeah, never over.
But my first one, that whole year, I dreamt of snakes in different religious and cultural belief systems.
I remember that. I remember.
Yes.
You were asking me, what does this dream mean about the snake in the ground? Like, I remember that.
365 days straight.
That's crazy.
And what had happened was, in the middle of it, I was having a Kundalini activation. I was having a Kundalini awakening. Absolutely. But at the same time, she was coming for me and I didn't even know it. And she had shown up in different readings for me. And I was like, no. And then I couldn't deny it anymore when I saw her in front of me. Stone cold sober.
That's a lot.
What about you, Anna? Like, how did she visit you for the first time?
Well, as a kid, but I didn't know that. Like, I didn't understand what it was. Like, when my family was like being torn apart and all of that stuff, there was a woman I would talk to, one of my imaginary friends or whatever. And I didn't know it was her. Like, I didn't, because I'm a kid, I don't know. So I don't really remember that though. That's like, those are stories I get from my family members that are telling me that I was talking about this woman. So I don't actively remember that. But for me, like a couple times, so I had this moment. I don't think I've ever shared this actually before on lives, but I was in a really bad toxic marriage. Okay, so bad. And I was trying to get out of it. And I left one night the house. I had to get out. It was like 3 a.m, of course. And I had to go get gas. And I was driving up to get gas in this new neighborhood I was not familiar with because I had just moved. And I hit a literal crossroads, like a literal crossroads. And right in the middle of the crossroads was this gigantic wolf. Like, I mean, it was probably a coyote because I'm in Los Angeles. So I don't think we have wolves here, right? But it was huge. And it was this blackish gray wolf. And it just stared at me and it was foggy. I mean, it was like out of a freaking movie. And I was like, I stayed there in my car, like just at the stop sign. And I was like, hey, what's up? Like I started talking to him. I don't know what made me do that, but I was like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, you good? You cool, buddy? And then like, it just looked at me and it nodded its head at me. And I was like, oh my God. And I drove past it, like I didn't want to hit it, obviously, but it just stared at me the entire way. And then when I got home, like 2 hours later, I'm pulling up into my driveway and guess what's following me up the driveway is a gigantic grayish black coyote or whatever it was. And I was like, oh my God, that can't be the same one because the one I saw earlier was 4 miles away. There's no way and then I left and went to a whole other part of town. But it was, and then that thing stayed around me the whole time. Like it still comes up and hangs out, right? Like in this area. And then also the arrival of owls and crows in my yard. Like all of a sudden there was an owl living out there. You've heard it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would start to go crazy if my ex would be yelling and stuff. It would start like just like making noise. But that night when I saw that dog, whatever it was, I had this this revelation that like I got to get out of this situation. I have to. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I must leave, and I got to find a way, and I'll be able to do it. And all of a sudden, I just had this like rush of like I'm renewed hope about how I was going to proceed, and this whole way of doing it came into my mind, and I ended up implementing that, and it worked, and I got out. So that was like the first one in my adult life that I can really point to. But just recently, I had that dream, just like last week, 2 weeks ago, and then, but like if she shows up with recurring symbols, right?
Yes.
Dreams, the symbols will be, again, torches, dogs, keys, even the moon can be one. And then crossroads, like if you literally, like I'm not talking like a metaphoric one. I was at a literal crossroads, like
literal crossroads. Yes, absolutely. Like it actually, that is where you can find her. Like if you want to put a key, like a skeleton key at a crossroads as an offering for her, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
But know that once you do that, your life is changing.
Yeah, and it's not going to be complete 180.
No, you can be yeeted. Like out of your life, like I was many times over. Right. But I will say all the ways that my ass was spiritually kicked was so excellent for me.
Right.
because
Yeah.
I'm
So
on
it's
the
gonna
other
suck.
side of that now.
Yeah.
And it's so damn good because
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I hear you. I'm following, and it is rough to be on a Hekatian path as a Hekatian devotee. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
But I mean, I don't think she calls to those that can't act.
right. It just requires a lot of integrity.
It does. And the ability to admit when you're wrong, like the ability to see the error of your ways, like that's important. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. A lot of people are not capable of doing that. Unfortunately, I feel like, anyways, in my experience, um, and I think, pride and hubris are kind of like the antithesis of what she's looking for in somebody that's going to be, you know, devoted to her, because you need to be able to see when you're wrong, like when you're messing up, right? Because the
Well,
ability to see in
yeah,
that,
if you're not humble on your path, you'll be humbled.
yeah, and that's what I mean. Like it's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be the thing that you needed to like not repeat the cycle again. Because chances are, whatever it is that you're being like yeeted, for lack of a better term, out of, it has been playing over and over and over and over in your life, like maybe different people involved, but like the same theme, right? Over and over again with
Right.
toxic bullshit. And then at some point, it's like if you ask for her help, best believe she's gonna make you see, like, so it's gonna be so bad that you're never gonna want to go back to that stuff ever again. Which I welcome that. That's how I learn. I learned the hard way. You know this.
Right. Well, like for us, I think that's how we just go. We just kind of follow the flow that the universe provides, and we surrender to it because we know
Yeah.
that it's going to be 10 times better than what we can ever scheme.
Well, now, but I didn't used to. Like I used to
Right.
fight. I used to, swim against that current as hard as I could. When I
Oh
went,
yeah.
right. But now I'm like, okay, it's good. It's fine. It'll be okay. And then things start to become easier, right? Once we
Right.
like, and that is, it's like I'm so mad that that advice is correct, because I've heard that for so long.
Right. And
Navigate
it's so hateful when it's true, damn it.
it
But
is like, what you mean? I just had to stop fighting everybody, everything, all the things, and like just surrender to
yeah.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
I could have done that when I was, I don't know, 20, but I
I
waited.
think that's the lesson with Hecate, though, for sure, is that if you want a brush up against her greatness, and that's
Mhm.
how I feel it is, a brush up against her greatness.
Yeah,
She is vast, man. Um, you want to follow her rules. There's no room for screwing up. You just
right.
like, but the things that you get from that, like, is huge.
Oh my gosh. Can I just say also, this was crazy for me, right? So when I do rituals and I call on her, I have a feeling that comes over me every time. I've told you this before. Every single time it works. First of all, it works every time. There's not one time that it doesn't happen. I feel like I'm electric. Like I literally, like I feel like I have electricity flowing through me, and I could like zap you if I was cool enough with my hand, like wow.
Yeah.
I found out that that is precisely how she shows up. Like,
Mhm.
from all of this research I've been doing, that she shows up as lightning in your veins. And I was like, "No shit." Like, well, that makes a hell of a lot of sense, because that's that feeling I get of just like energy, like charged, right? Which I thought was, it's just one of those other things that's just like a reinforcement of like, "Oh crap." I
Yeah, actually, if you're a healer and you feel that, I call it electric hands.
Yeah,
If you feel that like I do, try giving her an offering and see what happens, because you
right.
know what? Right around the time that that was happening to me is when she showed up for me. And so it's funny that you say that, because those did coincide.
Yeah.
And when I have people that I heal in person, she usually shows up for them in a big way. I've had people though say they were like, I was so scared that like I made a deal with the devil somehow, and that's why all this was happening to me, because they didn't understand.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, people think it's like that. I mean, She's
Right, when
scary.
we were purging too, what happened was this person had a session with me, an hour session, and I'm a ceremonial healer. So like it's kind of like the energy of Reiki, but in ceremony. But it's one-on-one. And this person started purging, and that can happen when I work on people. They get very hot, they sweat, they will throw up, and sometimes even both ends. And it's not so pleasant. But what happens is in my people's ancient like beliefs is that I'm getting all the bad spirits out of them.
Right, that's what they say happens. I know, I've had that happen to me. It was terrifying.
And this doesn't happen at every healing. It's just the people that really have some heavy duty stuff going on.
Right.
But this person, when she was purging, she saw Hekate.
Oh,
And she was like, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. And
she's scary.
it can be frightening if you're not ready. Yeah.
Like, it's not, I was never scared. Like, everybody always saying, oh, you don't want to work with her, she's dark energy, whatever. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm so sick of hearing these terms, like the love and light shit and versus the black magic stuff. Like,
right. There's no such thing. Can I just say there's no such thing? There are things that they will call themselves black magic or this or that, okay? But really it's whatever the person's doing, okay? It's like it's
baneful magic, right? Like, you could do like baneful magic, like, you know, stuff to like
right. Yeah.
That's still like sometimes it's needed. Like, you know, sometimes
that seems more like defensive, I would say.
It is. Well, for me, yeah, like I wouldn't do it for no reason, like ever.
Right.
Very rarely have I ever done it. But
well, the thing is, the universe keeps score. So whether you're keeping score or not, or whatever you believe in, it doesn't really freaking matter.
Right. Yeah. You gotta. If you're gonna do that shit, though, you better make sure you're right. You know, because it's gonna come back on your heart. Which has not happened. So I know, right. But this is one of those things where people get it confused with the demon, right? Because she commands like the underworld, right? Like she's in command of that. And necromancy, which, you know, the church has labeled as fine to do within the confines of the church, but not okay to do outside of the confines of the church. Like that. I don't know. That's a problem for me, but you know, hey, who am I to say?
It's funny because the church will say that people have had visions of Mary, right?
Oh, I know. Right. Yeah.
But here's the thing I'm going to say about this. We have a lot of that. We have Santa Muerte. We have Hekate, right? We have the Virgin. We have the Magdalene. We have all of these female, like goddess, like figures, right? That have appeared to people. But when the church says it, it's okay. And it's the Virgin, right? And it's a miracle.
Yeah.
At any other time, it's bad.
And
the issue comes in. Just because we haven't been told that we officially have seen something that they say is okay, then that means that it's not, you know?
Yeah. And people are really still scared of that. Like some people are really still scared of that. Like I find it fascinating that you know how many people, you know, like I know you know what I'm talking about when I say like there's people that you see in these groups that are like, this psychic contacted me and said I had a curse on me, and oh my god, I need to pay her $100 to take it off, and so I paid it. Now is it gonna work? And I'm like, you're an idiot. Like,
like, please stop talking.
What? Like, but it's, the point I'm making here is not about how dumb people are, which they are, but it's about the fact that people's belief in something being able to harm them is paramount here. Like, you know, like, so if people are scared of it, then they're going to be scared of it, and they're going to think it's much more, I don't know, serious than it actually is.
Well, and your ability to manifest situations outside of your mind with your mind is very powerful. And so if you're
everyone can do it.
Right. If you're believing that you're being haunted by this thing or this thing is visiting you, you're going to connect the dots for signs, quote unquote, daily about how this thing is haunting you, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, it is. I mean, I see this in all aspects of, you know, occult practices. Like people that are like, "Oh, I was eating SpaghettiOs for some goddamn reason. I don't know what's wrong with you, but, like, you're eating SpaghettiOs," and it spelled out a word. It's like, "Yeah, because 'cause you're eating literally an alphabet soup, like, like, it has
Right, right,
math,
right.
like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?" You know, like, what? It just blows my mind sometimes how people can see signs in everything, but the good thing here is with, Hekate or Hekate, however you wanna say it again, is that hers are distinctive and they're very, they're not ones that you're gonna come across often in life anyways, unless they're meant for you. Like,
I agree. I agree. Like the black dogs, after
the
she
Hounds
had
of Hell,
visited
right?
me,
That's what that became, right?
I
That
mean, after she had visited me the first time, people started seeing black dogs near me.
oh, like, you spirit dogs? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yes.
spirit dogs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, black dogs. Yeah, so those are the Hounds of Hell from Vincent Price. That's what those came from. And it's amazing how much of her, like, of her symbolism has been interwoven within pop culture, right? And
Right.
always to symbolize dark forces. It's never anything,
Correct.
really
But
positive, unfortunately.
but see, her hounds are actually protectors of her
Or
and her traversing the underworld and the world of the dead to
astral, right?
go and retrieve someone,
Yep.
right? And so after I had seen her, like people had started seeing the dogs around me, the spirit dogs, and then the snake thing,
Yeah.
and then owls come, right?
Yeah.
That's another symbol.
Owls,
Um,
because they're also night, they're messengers, right, from spirits. It's like
right,
crows too.
right. Just like we see owls with Santa Muerte, same
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
But if you wanna, like, start working with her, again, don't do it frivolously, like, don't do it, like, for funsies. But if you want to, then you can, like, the best way is to study and to, dedicate an altar to her, which, is fairly simple to do. Like, the offerings that usually are associated with her are, like, garlic, cinnamon, um, eggs,
Nightshade,
honey, bread.
Madonna,
Oh, yeah, belladonna, yeah. Mandrake, um,
mandrake. Yeah. I
yeah,
actually found belladonna growing wild by the river, and I took that as a sign from her for real. Like, I think that is a sign if you're out in nature and you see one of her plants.
yeah, like nightshade, right? Like, isn't that
Yeah,
a shade?
it's deadly
Right?
nightshade is belladonna, and it was growing wild. So I took a cutting of it and I put it on my altar for her.
Yeah, I think, like, probably, datura is too, but I would not suggest touching it.
Datura. It is actually, it grows wild here.
I know. Hello. I'm very aware. I'm very aware of its effects. It's very bad. They're very, very, very bad.
Well, you shouldn't use it for that. It should only be like I'll put on your altar or something. I
Yeah.
would never take datura ever.
No, yeah, and if you're gonna work with it, use gloves actually because it is
Yes, it can get into
transferable.
your, yeah.
Mhm. And it's a neurotoxin, so don't use it in any other capacity. I just don't use it at all. But cinnamon is a big one. And you can just ask her to come to you. She'll show
Oh
up,
yeah.
but be ready for that. Like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. It's I think a lot of people reach out when they're kind of at their end, like when they're at their limit, like where they're kind of not sure where to go. I think that a lot of people find her then, and that
Yeah.
makes sense to me because I feel like that the vibe checks out, right? Like,
Well, she came to me, which was so different for me because I think it's because I would not have sought her out. I just wouldn't have.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
didn't know that everybody was into her actually, because I've solo practitioner my entire life, so I didn't know.
Yeah. Every friend I've had who's been into it was like, oh, Hekate, she's the goddess of witches. And I'm like, yeah, that feels like low hanging fruit to me for some reason. I don't know why. I
I know
think
you mean. Yeah, I know
I
what you
was
mean.
a practitioner for so long, and I wasn't about like I want my spells to be magical. Like I'm sure as a kid I felt that way, but like I felt like I was trying to reach for something that felt like it was just under the surface and I couldn't quite get it yet
Yeah,
until I got it.
yeah, yeah. Well, she's gonna make you get it, if you're
Right.
worthy. So, because I knew somebody that, you do too, that was all about her, a
Mm-hmm.
male.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this guy was like the antithesis of everything that she represents, like completely. And his,
Yeah, also know your audience. If
yeah,
right, like know your audience. If you're like, or know yourself, better yet.
yeah,
If you're in
yeah,
magic,
yeah.
you should already know yourself. But I
Hmm.
mean, like that's not somebody who that personality would ever align to. It just
No,
doesn't make sense.
it's like just because of the grave robbing, it doesn't mean that she's gonna vibe with you. And I wonder in those instances where people try to call on her and they are not, um, of good moral or good character, I guess, in general, just bad people.
Mhm.
I wonder what ends up actually conversing with them, what actually ends up showing up for them.
Well, okay, think about it this way. We work with, liminal things in other dimensions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and there's a lot of trickster spirits out there, right? I mean, why do we cover our heads when we do healings or certain rituals or things of that nature, right? Because
To dim it. Yeah, so they can't see it. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that if we're talking to who we want to talk to,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah. And I think that, yeah, so I would say that if you're not up with who you are as a person and you're still doing shady shit and you're like screwing people over or just being a jerk in general, male or female, doesn't matter. I would say that, you know, you should probably not engage because you're probably going to end up with something else that's going to lead you down in a spiral of absolute crap and like make you go crazy. Honestly,
Oh, absolutely, and that can happen. It can
I
absolutely
know.
happen. If you're not healed and you're effing with magic and you're screwing with those kinds of things, you best believe you're going to meet some psychosis.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
even practitioners like myself and Anna have come across that threshold. Everybody does
Yeah,
on this path, but it's a matter of where you're at on your healing journey when you meet that threshold, whether you're capable of maintaining and handling it or not.
okay, let's talk about that threshold for a second, like, because I think that's important. So, like, I think Abamon had this like meme that he had made, and it was great. It was like, if it doesn't scare you, is it even really magic?
I agree with him about that.
Are you even doing magic? I'm sure I just butchered that, but it was something to that effect. And it's true. Like, I've been doing this since I was 12. I am 46. It has been a long time. Every time, no matter what it is, even the smallest little thing where it's like, some result that I get that's like, whoa, it still startles me, like in a good way. I mean, it'll startle me and I'll be like, oh my God. And I'm like, did that just happen? Like, and I have to check in with myself, like, okay, make sure I'm still grounded here partially at least, right? Like, so, um, but are you saying that that threshold is like of psychosis is where we are not checking in, or are we like taking it? How do we take
Your whole reality has been now questioned to the point of existential questions
it?
that now like you have to address because either you've been given the answer or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Like when you
it's
realize that it is what
processing
it is,
the information, the new information, right?
like the realization that reality is a sliver of what is out there,
Right. And that can bring on a psychosis if you have a lot of heavy programming from society.
right? And yeah, and religion especially, like yeah, and then so you yeah, we all go through that. We all have that period where we're like, oh my God, I'm losing
We
my mind.
have to deprogram.
Yep. And then yeah, and still, so that is really important, and that's something that will if it hasn't happened to you yet, and you decide that you want to call on Hekate, then be ready for that. I guess.
Right, right, because it's a very big undoing.
Yeah.
It's a very big undoing, but then you gain so much more, but it's like it's a different life.
Yeah.
It's a whole different way of being. And Anna and I have also, like, we're so deep into it though that, like, at our last annual coven camp out, we did a ritual to invoke her into your circle, and it changed the lives of everybody involved.
Yeah, everybody's had like really good outcomes from that, right? Like since that, I loved that setting too. Was so amazing. Like just the setting of that was so ethereal and like magical itself. I love that place so much.
We're going back this year.
I know you just got you got it right, like camping.
Yeah.
Yes. So is it good? When are we doing it? Is it June?
We're doing it with your coven on June 27th, 28th, and 29th.
Oh,
awesome. If you're in our coven and you're watching this, please don't miss our camp out this year. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, is it still up in the same spot too, up there?
Yes, ma'am. I got us 2 spots right next to each other, so we have enough space for everybody.
Oh yeah, I got a giant tent. Wait, I bought a tent, right? Yeah, I did. It's huge. That's right. I forgot. A huge tent. I was like living in a house. It was amazing. This time I'm gonna be even more bougie. But yeah. So
I love it.
We got 15 minutes left. Do you want to do if anybody wants
anyone who's watching, do you want to ask us any questions, any psychic questions, any questions for the tarot cards?
Yeah.
I don't use cards, but I do answer yes or no questions.
Yeah.
And also, Anna, what are you up to? What's going on with you? What's going on with you lately? Like, I know that you're moving, right?
I'm moving. Got a house.
Yay! So your outfit will look a little bit different on our show.
It's gonna look different. We got a house that has a huge, so much space, and we're gonna have a new studio room, a huge room that's dedicated to like office/studio stuff for filming podcasts, and then just doing my work as a professor. When I teach online. So that's amazing. It's a whole new town I'm moving to, city, so that's exciting. I'm terrified, but I'm also really excited, and tomorrow we're actually going to go look at it again. I'm taking Lucy so that she can be there and see it for herself.
That's so awesome.
No, I'm excited. And to get measurements so that I can order furniture. Because like my house is like crowded here because it's so small, but like when we get into that space, it's gonna look like empty because it's so big. It's like 3 times the size of my house, like at least 3 times the size now that I have now. So I'm like super excited. And then just work, like work and stuff like that. And I think we have. Hang on.
Am I fitting into your coven is my question. Yes, absolutely, Billy. You are a sweetheart. I adore you and I love your energy. But give us one that you want to hear though. What do you want to know? And I think it'll be good for you to she RSVP too, so it'll be good for you.
Billy, Billy. Okay.
We can't.
Hi, Billy. Let me see. Let me grab a deck quick.
And Blue Portal, yes. Of course you're coming. That's Alex. Of course she's coming.
Oh, yeah, duh. You were there. You got impacted by the ritual. I remember.
Yes, she did. She absolutely did. Blue Portal, you should like type it in.
Yeah, what was that like for you to be on that ritual with when we invoked Hekate?
Oh, here we go. I'll let you answer Billy's
I can't see it. So what does it say?
Am I meant to be alone romantically?
What's the name of the person that asked that question?
Billy Taylor.
Oh, I see it now. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, she's in our coven.
Okay. I mean, I already know the answer, but like, I'm just gonna check. I'm just gonna check, but say for Billy.
Wow.
No, but you're meant to not be in one right now, relationship right now, because there's work you got to do. There's some work here that's important. It looks like you got the Knight of Pentacles, which means it's time to take things methodically, slow, and really mull them over. See what you've missed in the past. There's something there that has been trying to get your attention, like some kind of pattern, belief. I don't know what it is yet. Let's see. That is needing to be confronted and overcome. But let's see. Oh, and then yeah, no, you're not. Of course not. Like I already knew the answer was no, but like you're not meant for that. But for whatever was going on in the past, that needs to be transmuted and fixed first. And then when you do that, you get the Knight of Cups and then the King of Wands. So this is about, this is about building yourself back up and making
Mm-hmm.
you the person that is going to attract the right partner, not just a partner, because it starts inside, right? Like it does.
Absolutely. And Billy, I want to tell you that when he does come in, he's going to have a big belt buckle and some cowboy boots. They look like they got some dirt on them, like he's been on a ranch or something.
He's gonna be self-made man, like self-made, like in charge of stuff too, so, like nice person, you know.
You're going to be able to be soft in that relationship.
What do you mean these snake dreams about? Are you having snake dreams? Or
Bean Drinker, tell us what's going on. And yes, long time no see.
Yeah, hey. Oh. Yeah,
what are these snake dreams about? So the snake dreams, okay, so let me tell you, that's a Kundalini awakening, right? But it's also, the snake thing has to do with Hekate.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Is he like, hey, were you talking about what we were talking about, or are you saying that you're having them? Please. Okay.
Yeah. Are you having snake dreams? Because then let's talk about that.
That's crazy.
And Blue Portal, yes. Okay, so Blue Portal said, I felt very electric. It felt like home. The connection was intense. Yes, that was our circle we did on the coast with our coven for our camp out. It was very magical. And Hekate was definitely there.
Yeah, like that was crazy. Then we have so then Bean Drinker is saying,
so yes, crawling on your face, but you had no fear. Okay, and that was a dream. Okay, so
that's like getting slapped in the face with it.
No, Bean Drinker, you got to do shadow work. What are you holding on to still? I feel like there's some things that you need to confess to some people and just like come clean and like get rid of it. That's why you're having that dream.
It's about being honest with yourself about something. Yeah, like honest, like admitting something here. Yeah. But if you've been watching this whole time, or did you just get here because we were talking about dreams of snakes earlier? So.
Yeah, we were talking about snake dreams.
Yeah. But you know what else is really cool to watch, and you'll thank me for this later, is this thing on YouTube called Turtle Dreams. It's amazing. You gotta watch it. Like, look it up. It's this lady does this performance art, and I don't like performance art, but I like this. Remember that lady, that song?
I love performance art. I'm into art, so.
Oh well. Are you serious? You just got here. Are you pulling my leg? Because we literally were talking about Stephanie's snake dreams as we're talking about Hekate and how she shows up for people in dreams and in visions or whatever. And that's one of the number ones is snakes in dreams. And we were talking about that earlier in the stream. So that's interesting. See? There we go.
There we go. There's another sign. There we go.
That's kind of nuts. That's kind of nuts. That's a little bit nuts.
She's been showing up in everything.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. More snakes.
I see signs everywhere, just like the people I was making fun of earlier.
They're everywhere. What was it? As the prophecy foretold.
As the prophecy foretold, you guys. And anytime someone says something like weird to you, just be like, "As the prophecy foretold," and
you have to gasp first. You have to be like, "Oh, as the prophecy foretold."
Yeah. And it like scares people, like really does. He said, "No." A bean drinker says, "They've been in my house too. Snakes have been in your house, like literal, actual snakes."
Or in your dreams. Are you messing with us? Tell us what's happening.
Are you talking about? Or is that normal for where you live?
I want to know.
I hope that snakes or in your house is not normal, except for Australia, I guess.
Are you in Australia? That's a good question. We haven't thought about this one.
Yeah, Australia has spiders in the sky and and snakes everywhere. Like, nope. I'm just saying no to that. Not doing it.
I love snakes, actually. They don't
snakes are fine, but not spiders. No. But although spiders are another sign too, by the way.
Yes, 3 different ones. No, not Australia. Are they your pets though? or are they just out there? Like, I want to know.
Yeah, like what do you got going on in your house? That's so exciting for snakes coming. No, I'm just kidding.
Is this like when did you see on SNL when Christopher Walken like had those people come by for the Census Bureau and like he kept like building how many things and people he had in his apartment? Yeah. So I'm wondering,
didn't he have plants? Googly eyes Is that the same one where he had plants with googly eyes? No,
nope.
No, they're not.
Nope, they're not your pets. Oh my God. I can't with you people. You guys.
That's nuts. Like,
that's crazy. Okay. I can't.
So you should watch this episode from the beginning, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how she shows up for people that are called to do shadow work, to do
the shadow work of the thing that you're not telling people about. Oh no, we're calling you on it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's nuts. I mean, kind of that's amazing. Thanks for showing up. See, I guess we called her by talking about her,
right?
Serious.
Does anybody else watching have any questions before we end?
I haven't been able to get my act out of my mind for over 2 years now. I'm not contact us. You have any left for me? Okay, I'm gonna go with the Hekate channel. Why would you want to give anyone that hasn't cared about you for 2 years time? You gotta value yourself a little more. I understand people can be on your mind, but you're doing yourself a disservice by focusing on that. There's someone better for you.
River Dragon, I want to give you some witchy advice here for this one, okay? Ask yourself what you're trying to distract yourself from to make yourself think about this person.
Or what are the things about them that are so enticing or appealing to you? And was that the reality of the situation, or was that what your brain is, kind of come up with in their absence? Like, does it match the reality or not?
And there are those qualities that you can foster in yourself instead of looking for that in a partner.
Right. I mean, this is not what you want to hear. I know. I guarantee you, because 2.5 years ago I was in the same boat, and
me too.
Yeah, we both were, because we have parallel freaking lives. It's crazy. But now is a different story. Now is a magical story, and I've got this is you. This is like the juggling, this weighing act, the 2 of Pentacles, right? Like the back and forth. This is definitely centering in you and not them. So what do they care about? What are they thinking about? Do they have love for you? Let me ask. I'll ask the question. I'll ask it for you, and I'll see what it says. So for That goes for River Dragon. Okay, River Dragon. River Dragon's ass. Any lava. I'm not seeing that that they're thinking about it at all. I see that they're doing other things in their life right now. But the message for you is that you're stronger than you know, and this is a test. Like, you got to get past this hurdle, so that you can have what you should have, what you deserve. That person wasn't it. But you can look at it as a lesson for the things that you do want and what you don't want. You know, like isolate what you do want and what you don't want. Go ahead, honey. And you know, then those things, when you can address them and identify them, then you'll be able to move forward. But until that happens, you're going to be kind of in a wheel, a loop-de-loop. So
Yeah.
it's
You've got to
important.
find a way to cut that cord for yourself to let it go because
Yeah.
it's not going to do you any good like this.
Right. So like the way that I did it was I looked at it like, okay, so what did I learn from this? Like, yeah, because it is a test, a lesson. It's about like taking something that's upsetting and heartbreaking and finding that silver lining in it. Like, how have you benefited from the situation? And there is a benefit. It might be hard to find it, but if you look hard enough, you will. And when you find that, you take that with you, and then you leave behind the heartache and the bad things, right? That's like really important. So you leave behind the negatives and take with you the positives: more resilience, more compassion, more understanding, right? And you'll find your person. I did. And like, I literally thought I would never. Stephanie knows. I was like, fucking Devin. I was like, my life's like this. I hate this. I hate everything. There's nobody out there that's decent. Everybody's a piece of shit. Like, nope, that's not true.
It's not true. We both were like that. I was like, I'm just going to be that crazy cat lady. And I was like, I was okay with that.
Yeah, we're going to buy a house together, live together, and like scare people, that are walking by our house.
Yeah.
This person that person you're talking about was the emperor. This is a person that had that was just not in a good way. Like, this is like the person that is there to teach you a lesson of self-love. And that sounds so lame. I get it. I understand.
But it's true. We have to have these examples to show us how to love ourselves. And it's so silly because it's so simple, right? But we make it stupid hard.
It is the hardest thing. I still struggle with it, being kind to myself. I'm my own worst critic, by far. I am so mean to myself, right? And unforgiving to myself. So that's something to overcome too. If you have a harsh self narrative, time to soften that up. Yeah, because this is broke you. It looks like it's really messed you up. So time to get over that. You are the creator of your own destiny, girl. That's what it says. So, you got to do it. You got to do things to alleviate this from yourself. Oh, okay.
Oh, honey, that's just okay. So as soon as I'm going to say this out loud so that everybody watching understands, I do keep trying to let him go energetically, but I wake up saying his name. Sweetheart, here's the thing. That's you holding on even harder. That's just a reaction. Okay. That's an emotional reaction, and it's keeping you small. Okay. That's just like, when we get scared and our inner child is like, oh my God, please help me. Please help me. That's what you're doing when you do that.
Yeah. It's really important to I had to go to therapist for mine. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest. I had to go to a therapist for a year. And I am a psychologist. So this is not this was bad, right? So okay. When I got to reach out of my own ability to understand things to go to somebody else that's probably less educated than me, and that's a fact. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just being serious.
But you know what? When we hold space for others like
Yeah.
we do, we have to have somebody hold
Yeah.
space for us.
So, and she did. She's an amazing therapist, but she made me write it on a piece of paper, like the simple act of like writing it down on a piece of paper, like the actual good qualities of that person that in reality, not like my romanticized, but well, like how it really was. And then the cons, like pros and cons, and like see it on paper because sometimes we need that visualization of like what really happened and whatever. Especially if this is like a narcissistic vibe or like you had any kind of like, emotional manipulation or anything like that. Those things are really hard to get out from under. For some reason, those stick with us the longest and can really twist our mind and think that we were in the wrong or that it was our fault that things broke up the way that they did when it wasn't. So it's important to be really honest with yourself about the narrative that you have about that relationship, because if you're not being honest about it, that would be a reason why you're incapable of letting go of it. So it's about seeing that harsh truth in ourselves, like, and I'm not saying, I don't know, like if that happened for you or not, but I'm just saying, if so, if you had some kind of like, emotional manipulation in some way, then it's time to maybe sit down and really think about like what happened and the reality of it. And talk to your friends too that knew you when you're dating this person, like ask them for their perspective. Sometimes we don't see the things and our friends did, and like they didn't want to upset us, so they didn't say anything, or they did try to tell us and we got mad, and we're like, you're just jealous.
Right. And it's hard sometimes to take the criticism when you're in the middle of it. But your friends love you usually, and they can see what you're going through, and or if even just them telling, hey, this person didn't deserve you, even just that like helps a little bit to kind of move forward. But also ask yourself, why am I just my brain, my monkey mind, why is my monkey mind obsessing over this thing, right? Because what it's doing is it's keeping you busy from something else. It's keeping you busy from growth.
Yeah.
It's keeping you busy from choosing you and doing for you. So I would say that this is an adversarial energy. And I would tell myself, you know what, this is something for me to overcome instead of sit in.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah, it is. It is something to overcome. All right. Noelle, the Leo, do it. Hello. Do it. Leo's going to teach you. I'm a Leo. I tell you, like when I'm with somebody that I am into, well, like I'm pretty good. Dude. Like I'm pretty badass. Like I'm pretty good. Leos are known for this. They're known for like spoiling people and giving them all the stuff. Yeah.
You're welcome, River Dragon. Absolutely.
Yeah. You can get over it, man. You got to know that though.
And Noelle, yeah, Leos are super romantic for the most part.
They'll the birthday of this person. I just want to see what kind of
birthday. So we know, is it August or July Leo?
Yeah, I don't know anything about July Leos. I just know August.
I do. I've dated too, so.
Is this like not what you're used to? Is this kind of personality not what you're normally used to dating?
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Mm.
And Noelle, what's your sign?
Yeah, that's important. Good question, Stephanie.
Yeah, I want to know. I swear, Anna and my next version of our show, we'll just be matchmakers. We'll be like the magical matchmakers over here. What's his sign? What's your sign?
Yeah. Well, actually, but the last sign I ever saw myself with was going to be Taurus, because then my mom's a Taurus, right?
Oh, my boyfriend's a Taurus too. I forgot about that.
Are you kidding me? What?
Yeah.
Birthday.
Yeah.
What day?
I get along with Tauruses. I'm a Pisces.
I only knew one. My mom. That's all I knew. I don't know anybody else.
Yeah. So he's May 11th. So.
Yeah. Okay. May Taurus may be different. Yeah, but Noelle,
what? I've only known April Tauruses, so May Tauruses must be different.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Noelle, what sign are you? Are you still there? Because we're reading yours.
Yeah. Can you tell us in the chat?
Oh,
I'm
maybe.
wondering if you're a water
Oh, nice. Okay, so I do know more than one.
there's a Taurus.
I didn't know. Sorry. Yeah, but I'm not fond of them now.
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
just
no, they're cool. They're cool. I know. I thought I hated Aries because of my mother being Aries, but
no. Yeah, see,
I
it was just a
actually,
bias. I just had a
yeah,
bias.
I actually love many Aries, so it's not like that.
I'll tell you what I don't like. No, I'm just kidding.
Preach, Anna.
Yeah, Scorpios.
But that's so funny because I'm a Scorpio moon, and people always think that's my like.
No, my best dude, Maggie's a Scorpio too. Like girls are different. I'm talking about men. And no offense,
Yeah,
Scorpio men, unless you're that one, those ones. My dad was a Scorpio, like,
my dad was a Scorpio.
yeah, like every one of my exes is a Scorpio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well then,
What
Noelle,
are you a Taurus? Are you a Scorpio? I don't
I
like.
had a feeling you're a water sign,
What are
Noelle. So
you?
come
I
on,
don't
come out
see.
with
Let us
it.
know. What's your sign? Okay, so I
If
see
you're a
that.
water sign, it's good. If this person's a Leo and you're a water sign, Leos love water signs.
Oh, August 2nd. Oh, well, I'm gonna say that they're awesome because my birthday is August 3rd. So yeah. So
There we go.
they are so they're gonna be, I mean, I guess I don't know how it is with men. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but if it's a man, I don't know. But yeah, opposite of narcissistic, yeah. Yeah. Because like that's the thing that Leos get the bum rap for all the time, is that we're like,
That's July Leos.
is it? Because I'm always like wanting to be center of attention, super obnoxious and loud. Like, I mean, I can be those things, but I'm not
But
typically. Right? Like, I'm not.
August Leos are more fun.
Signs.
Are more fun.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Just personally, and then July Leos are a little bit more intense.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like a Sagittarius, so 2 fire, right?
Oh, two fire. Huh,
So
what's your moon sign? I'm wondering. Okay, so two fire. That might be intense. That might be passionate.
yeah, so that might be a little combative, but I think, wait, how do I get like that? Like, it's just like for wills, like going over personality, like you're gonna be like Leo's are argumentative. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not. I will argue with you about pretty much anything if I care about it. But not like in a mean way, but like debate, right? Like having discourse,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So be ready for that, or to be challenged.
Sagittarius, though. You guys are the fun ones of the fire signs. No offense, Leo. I love Leos, but the Sages are like all about adventure and craziness.
Yeah, and Leos are more grounded a little bit, maybe. So maybe it'll
So I think it's good that Leo's more grounded than the Sag. And it's good that it's the dude,
Yeah, just try it out, man. What's the guy there?
Try it out. See what happens. I like this vibe for you.
I'm seeing good stuff here. So, if they like you, I'll tell you one thing, you're gonna have fun with Leo. Yeah, for sure.
And I saw confetti being thrown at me, so I think you guys are gonna party.
Yes. Try it out. Take a leap of faith, see what happens. Don't discriminate against signs unless they're Scorpio. Just kidding. No, I'm serious. It doesn't really matter. Actually, I think it's about how the person is as a person. I don't know. Although, in our episode that we did on astrological magic recently, I don't think it's out yet though. Where we talked about this, about like how much the first, like the sun, like the sign that you're born under, how much it actually impacts your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my mom was very adamant about it. Does matter, and I was like, okay. Well, I mean, I think so too, because I think people fit the bill a lot. They really do. So yeah, you're both fire signs. We know. Well, and is Sagittarius fixed?
Wait. Okay. So Cardinal is Aries, right? Fixed. I think Sagittarius is mutable.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up real quick and see, because that's where we get. No, yeah, it's not. They're not. Yeah, they're not fixed. Okay, so good. Because then I don't know. Let's see, Leo and Sag. I don't know what the you guys are one of the most compatible zodiac pairings.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that's what it says. And
There you go, guys. There you go. I love it.
Your life, your relationship, dynamic, passionate, and full of fun, with a lot of healthy discourse. Oh, that's what it says. So try it out, man. See what happens. You never know.
Yeah. Look, see, you come to us for psychic questions, and then we start researching your signs with your potential significant other or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, if anyone else doesn't have a question, then we're gonna call it.
Yeah, and guys, we're gonna try and do our Thursday nights when we can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might be able to next week, but I'm gonna also be packing.
Yeah, well, we're both transitioning this month, so it's gonna be a little bit crazy.
Yep. So,
like we said, parallel lives. I'm
parallel,
also
really. You're moving into a house too with your significant other.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How? I mean, not how, but like just the timing is bizarre. It's always.
It is. I just said, you know what? I'm not going to talk about it. We'll discuss it when we need to, and it just kind of happened that way.
Yeah. Yep. If things happen, if they're going to happen, they're going to happen. If not, they're not, right? And this one seems like it worked out. So, yep, and it will work out. It's amazing. So, okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate and love you guys as usual.
Yes, love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us and just having fun with us and letting us talk about our favorite things.
Yeah, be nerds. Appreciate you guys. All right. So we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, love.